Paula here, video number 3. Now, this one might take a little bit of explanation, hence why I'm actually wearing my glasses for this one. So, reading from the book, just want to go through basically the concept of rounding errors. And this is probably something which really touches on senior managers and executives' hearts. You know, you don't get to the senior levels without basically being able to do simple maths in your head. And I know on so many occasions, people will say to me, Paula, why is it that, the numbers just don't add up? We're out by 1. So I'm going to quickly read a very quick example. Right. So 2.6, 2.6, 3.8. Add those together comes to 9. 3.4, 3.4, 4.2 comes to 11. Now, both of those, actually, when you round them to whole numbers, it's actually 3 plus 3 plus 4 equals 10. So when you use 1 decimal point, you get 9 in the first example. When you use 1 decimal point in the second example, you get 11. Yet when you use whole numbers, it all comes down to 10. Right. Remove glasses. So this really is one of those things whereby I have had so many terse conversations with board members, because they will say things like, well, we see that it says 1 million, and then you take off, costs of 0.5 million, and we know that should leave a profit of 0.5 million. Yet it shows 0.4 million. Why is that? And you have to say to them, totally agree with you, the numbers don't add up. I said, however, what would have happened is when the output was put together, they would have rounded those millions to hundreds of thousands, and just the way the maths works at times, you just get unlucky and literally you lose a decimal point. It's just one of those things. Now, if your executives know that your accounting team and your senior accounting staff are on the ball, and actually it's just one of those rounding errors, you get a free pass, and it's okay. So, yep, it's just one of those things. Fine, we get it. Now, you can't push the truth too far. If it's 0.3 and it should be 0.5, that probably is an error. Okay, so you can only push it a little bit too much. And similarly, if you get unlucky every month, again, you need to be looking at something. Now, from my experience, I have found it very, very, very difficult, basically, to say to the executives, look, why don't you just say to your senior managers to actually create basically like a hybrid account whereby you can actually start to capture some of these rounding errors such that everything adds up. Because unfortunately, the way a profit and loss is put together, you do have to amalgamate certain numbers of costs to basically get an overall cost figure. And in doing that, you're not always going to get lucky with decimal points. So in wrapping up here, it's really a case of you can either take the strategy of trusting in your finance team. However, if you don't actually trust the finance team, because in the past they have dropped the ball and sometimes pressures at work, it happens, then what you can do is insist that the accounting raw systems basically are put in place such that all the roundings actually sort themselves out. Okay, and sometimes that might mean some last minute accounting adjustments, and other times it just means a leap of faith. There we are. However, I said it's a little bit of light-hearted fun in saying that, Excel sometimes fails at maths, with those 2 examples whereby both to 0 decimal places, i.e. whole numbers, they both add up to 10. But when you look at the detail behind them, it's 9 or 11. Anyway, a bit of fun. Glasses back on, because it was quite an in-depth mathematical exercise, that one. And Paula signing off from video number 3.